Recently, K-content has seen a noticeable increase in stories centered around womance, relationships, and solidarity between women. The word womance is a portmanteau of the words woman and romance, just like the male equivalent bromance or brother or bro plus romance. You probably have seen more of those bromance bonds in Korean media, be it in dramas, films, or entertainment shows. But recently, womance content has been establishing itself as a distinct trend. Let's discuss how these female-led narratives are evolving with Professor Chie Hye-won at Kyung University. Welcome back, Professor Chie.
Hi, Professor.
Hello, good afternoon.
So let's start off with a recently released series on Netflix. It's called As You Stood By, but in Korean, 당신이 죽였다 sounds a little more scary because if you would translate that into English, it would be you have killed him or her. So as we can hear from the Korean title, it actually revolves around a murder, but it also tells a story of a woman experiencing domestic violence. So she conspires with a friend to conduct murder. So there are also similarities drawn to Thelma and Louise. So could you tell us a little bit more about the story?
Okay, As You Stood By, 당신이 죽였다 is a new Netflix series which was released on November 7th, so last week. So its central theme is solidarity between women and the undeniable violence they face. Therefore, it shares similarities with the iconic feminist film Thelma and Louise you just mentioned. However, As You Stood By tells stories about women who have persistently exposed to domestic violence but are not able to confront it in the context of traditional Korean society and personal background. So this series is based on the Japanese novel Naomi and Kanako. So it's transferred to the Korean society, the backgrounds. So Unsu, who lives with the trauma of domestic violence from her childhood, learns that her old friend Hisu is being abused by her husband. So, and together they decided to kill Hisu's husband and join forces to rescue her from her desperate life. So they face many variables along the way, but with the help of their assistant Jin So-baek, Jin Sajang in the series, they pay the price for their crimes and they successfully reclaim their lives. So As You Stood By delivers the value of women's friendship, family, and self-sustained lives.
It sounds very interesting because I'm especially very curious in those criminal or crime-related films.
Right.
So I will definitely check it out series, yes.
You should.
I remember that Bella actually introduced us to the series as
so
well.
I watched the trailer before and it sounds it looks very interesting.
Yeah, it is interesting.
And much like As You Stood By, we have another film. We want to talk about another film that's with two women lead characters, right?
Also a series, right?
Right. It's You and Everything Else, 은중과 상연, right? Which is actually getting a lot of attention because of the chemistry between two actresses, Kim Go-eun and Park Ji-hyun. And the film evolves around friendship and also, jealousy, love, growth, and change through each other. So what would you say is so unique about this series?
Yeah, You and Everything Else, 은중과 상연 is also Netflix series, and it also tells the life story about the two female friends released in last September. So 은중과 상연, 은중 and 상연 are friends since their childhood, but they have very different family backgrounds and personalities. So, however, this difference makes them both more attracted to each other and more uncomfortable at the same time. So this series delicately portrays the tensions of jealousy and loyalty in family friendship and depicts the complex relationship as they share the variable moments in lives from their teenage years in the 1990s to their 20s, 30s, and 40s as well. So of course the relationship between Eunjung and Sangyeon also includes their families and lovers and other friends, but this series more focuses on the emotions and relationship between two friends, two women, and well portray their lives as friends and rivals at the same time, and love-hate life partners.
I think it is easier to show intricate friendships through women because I don't want to be biased or so, but usually they say that women's friendships are a little bit more complex than brothers, like male and male friendships, right? So yeah, and especially with these great actings by Kim Go-eun and also Park Ji-hyun. And now moving on to a movie this time, and this is titled Project Y, and I'm really looking forward to this one because there are some of my favorite actresses there, starring Han So-hee and Jeon Jong-seo.
Right.
So this movie has yet to be released to the public. However, it already took home the award for Best Film in Competition at the 10th London East Asia Film Festival.
Right.
So what kind of womanship can we see in this movie?
Right. Project Y is a little different from the other two. So it is a film, and it is a crime noir film, and its release date has not confirmed yet. But as you just mentioned, this film has already received much attention as it was invited to multiple international film festivals such as London East Asia Film Festivals, Toronto International Film Festivals, and Busan International Film Festival as well. So it tells the story of Mi-sun, played by Han So-hee, and Do-kyung, played by Jeon Jong-seo, who dream of ordinary, peaceful lives working at a flower shop during the day, and at night they work at the nightclubs to save money to escape the harsh reality. But when their dreams are scattered after being scammed, they are forced to turn to dangerous crime, entangled with the powerful figures in the nighttime entertainment business. So Project Y is receiving favorable reviews for its fast-paced portrayal of the female characters' intense desires, betrayers, and hidden solidarity, breaking the conventions of traditional noir films.
Just by looking at the trailer, one word apart from romance pops up in my mind, which is girl crush.
Right, it is.
I think it's also very based on that
something
powerful
that
girl crush.
I don't have for sure, so very jealous.
Why not?
I don't know. I don't
Show
have
your
those
girl
like
crush power,
girl crush power.
And I think someone who liked the Han So-hee's My Name, also the Netflix series, they probably interested in these films as well.
And that was actually also viewed by a lot of male watchers. So only that you have like it doesn't mean that if you have female characters who are the main characters that it won't be watched by males either.
Of course, yes.
So yeah, I think that's a good point.
My name as well. So we've touched upon three series, and also films related to this K-womance. But these days, I feel like the female characters' relationships seem to be portrayed very realistic and also complex ways in content.
Right.
So is this trend kind of reflecting the viewer's emotional or kind of this current social status?
Yeah, I think so. The most notable changes in the relationship between female characters in recent Korean films or series would be independence from the male character, male-centered narratives, and multi-layered solidarity beyond the competitive structures. So it's not like a love triangle. It's their friendship, and they decided to do something together, but there are some like complex relationship and the emotions behind that. So the shift from portraying female characters as supporting figures to portraying them as active and central figures definitely reflects the social changes. So accordingly, the relationship between female characters drive to the core to the work while also depicting realistic situations and complex emotions in more delicate manners. So, and I believe that the evolution of these female characters and their relationships is resonating with the audience both domestically and internationally.
Right. And Professor Chie, we are also seeing an increase in the proportion of female writers, female directors, female producers. So this is increasing on the production sets. Do you think that these changes are also influencing the direction and the perspective of the stories themselves?
Right. Of course, I believe that's one of the key reasons that for the shift in female characters in media. So it's not just the increase in writers or directors or producers of the films or series, but also the discovery of the diverse range of the writers through the new platforms such as webtoons or web novels, leading to the increase in works that bring about the transformation in female stories and characters. So As You Stood By was created by the female writer Kim Hyo-jung, and director is also female, Lee Jung-lim, and the writer of You and Everything Else, Song Hye-jin, is also a woman. And several writers who collaborated together for Project Y included a female writer, Oh Yu-kyung, as well. So I believe that with the increasing participations of female creators and staffs in the media industry, the relationship between women are also being explored in more diverse ways.
So we've talked about this women's contents, but this women's narratives are very gaining worldwide attention as well. How do you think Korean women's contents will be viewed abroad, and what do you think are some unique aspects of K-womance contents?
Yeah, I think they are unique. So because media contents reflect the times and the society. So recently, Korean series and films have moved beyond the traditional melodrama or family-centered dramas of the past, successfully establishing female narratives in genres. Traditionally, the genres traditionally considers male-dominated genres, such as crime, noir, or thriller, and the office dramas. So this has not only secured the genre diversity, but also broadened the scope of female characters and actresses as well. So in addition, the subject matters are based on realistic issues in Korean society, such as domestic violence, social inequality, and the struggle for survivors as women in the society. So, and I think it draws immersion into the storylines and create the sense of empathy for both domestic and international audiences.
I see. And finally, Professor Chie, do you think that women's contents could become a genre of its own? And if that does happen, will this create a bigger diversity in K-content from here on?
Honestly, it is hard to say that romance has become a genre in movies and series yet, but because the genre are commonly categorized as a thriller, dramas, romance, comedies, and science fiction, those kind of things. Romance is treated as a specific subject matters or narrative style within the drama genres. So therefore, it's fair to say that romance is effectively established itself as a powerful subgenre or trend. So as romance becomes a significant and independent narrative trend in recent content market, so the importance of female character narratives and female characters is likely to grow even more in the future, I think. In addition, as the female-centric works grows, especially in Asian markets, such as the Chinese market, Greater China regions. So I believe that the female-centered content is expected to evolve, and it's female characters in more diverse ways as well.
Now, whether it becomes a genre of its own or not, it is great to see that expansion of many more females working in the content field. And also in broadcasting, just look at the proportion of women we are having today.
Of course.
Well, thank you very much, Professor Chie, for your insights today, and have a great weekend.
Thank you, Professor.
Thank you, you too.
And to Bella, thank you as always. We'll see you back here next week.
Yes, I'll see you back next week.